Hey, this is Gilgamesh. It's been a while. I had my computer switched from Windows to Linux Mint. I didn't know how to do it, so I'm paying someone to do it, and so this video is. I want to talk about what has happened since the 28th of February when this administration decided to attack Iran, and explain a few things that I think who's really running things wanted this to happen. And it goes back. You have to go back first. While they're negotiating with the Ayatollah, the government of Iran, they attack a pre-elementary school, and this was on Saturday, with two Tomahawk missiles killing 100, I think they said 170 elementary school girls. Then attacked the Ayatollah's home. While his daughter-in-law is there, her son, his cabinet, they're meeting, talk about, and they're killed. So Iran unleashes hell on all of our military bases. They attack Israel, they attack, Saudi Arabia. They've been attacking everyone. And now Hezbollah's in it, but yeah, and the Houthi might be getting into it because Trump has no way out. But, and it's like this. They say, look at Israel, it's over here. They want you to blame Israel. Easy, blame Israel. Israel, Bibi is behind this. No, don't look over here at the people who really are pulling the strings, which would be the guys who run a company called Palantir AI. Yes, these guys, when they were younger, their parents all moved into South Africa, where they met. Then in the 90s, Mika Brzezinski's father brought them in the CIA, where they were given the plans, set these countries to destabilize or overthrow. And this plan's been since before World War II, when Alan Dulles, the CIA director, planned for the creation of Israel. After causing, all the stuff I said in a previous video about why I consider him one of the most evil men in the world. Well, Israel's creation is to do what they've been doing. Destabilize the area. Well, in the 80s, 81, Jeffrey Epstein, because Jimmy Carter cut off funding for the CIA, so they bring him in to be a arms dealer and money launderer, which is how they sell weapons to Iran, they sell it to Saudi Arabia, to Israel, to Iraq, to Jordan, all these countries. Syria, why? Lebanon, because they want to create strife and unrest. So, and Palantir, trust me, Zionist, Israel says, we're the home of the Jews. Okay, we hate the Jews. We want the Jews eradicated. As Bibi said, Israel exists for all the Jews come here so we can exterminate them. For God, I kid you not, this is what this fucker has said. So, really, Israel's assignment is there to essentially do what we want, which is what the CIA wants, which is destabilize. So they create Hamas, the CIA does, they get Hezbollah involved, why? Like I said, destabilize, overthrow governments. This is what they do. So, in order, the first piece of this puzzle is get rid of Saddam Hussein. Okay. And remember, we started a war we sold weapons to Iran and Iraq. Why? They go to war against each other, knowing this war, Iran's not going to get involved and help Saddam Hussein. They hate his ass. You hear that from Professor Morani, what happened to the Iranian people because of Saddam Hussein. So they set up perfectly. Get rid of him, start a war, boom. Then they go to Afghanistan, where, ironically, no one's been able to beat the Taliban. So they start this war, they get rid of Saddam, they put a new government in. Things have never been the same in Iraq. since Saddam Hussein. Yes, he was a brutal dictator, but he was the U.S. CIA's brutal dictator. And things were somewhat stable, but that's the first part of undoing the Middle East. When they put the Shah in, they made him a brutal dictator. Then they want the Ayatollah back in. Ayatollah Khomeini comes back in, brings the Revolutionary Guard. Why? Because they want to start conflicts. This is where the CIA makes their money. Overthrow governments, cause trouble, get people killed, sell weapons. This is what fucking they do. That's why they've destabilized. They have first piece of the puzzle. They have already the Saudis. All these, the Saudis, their little country, puppet countries, all embedded, doing the CIA's bidding. To make it, Israel, Iran has Syria. They have the Palestinians, but the Palestinians, Hamas was originally doing the CIA's bidding, and it worked until after October the 7th. What happened? They did exactly what they were told. Take people hostage. Then, boom, boom, they're destroying Gaza. People are dead, A lot of kids killed and everything. Then the day comes where they're going to hand over all the Israelis they have. And this is where Israel agrees they're going to essentially, help rebuild. They're going to leave the Palestinians alone. They betray that agreement. The Hamas is turned now on the U.S. and Israel. They're now not going away. So they can't beat them. They attack Lebanon. They do a terrorist attack with pagers and cell phones. This is what got me kicked off Twitter. So what do we have? Then comes the overthrow of the Assyrian government. And Putin played a part in that. He got Assad to resign because he wouldn't sit down with Erdogan. Erdogan does the U.S. bidding because his country is shit. Because, they had an earthquake. Their economy's kind of in the toilet. He's acting like a dictator. He has his recent opponent arrested. This is all going. Assad was willing to work with the U.S. We're stealing their oil. He was trying to, but one thing he wouldn't do is normal things with Israel or Erdogan. So he had to go. So, boom, now they put Jelani, the leader of ISIS, in charge. And this is exactly what Palantir wants. So, then came the beginning of the 12-day war. When I say Palantir are genius, psychopaths, they are. See, I believe they've created their AI. Not the one you all see, the one that other companies are talking about. This is an AI that they let learn and got smart and planned 9/11 and learned how to think like a human in all scenarios. So we have this. Everything to destabilize. We get the day Iran is attacked and the internet, satellites went down. No one saw the attack. First, they had planned a year ahead in Russia. They put these trucks in there. Russia didn't even know they were there until suddenly drones came out and attacked Russia. Okay, that was just a test run for what was about to happen in Iran that would kick off the 12-day war. They wanted to see how far Iran would go, so they shut it all off. Iran, no one could warn Iran. Then boom, Mossad unleashes hell. They unleash this terrorist attack on Iran, killed their scientists, boom, boom. And it goes on for 12 days. Trump can't end it because Iran's pissed off. They've shown now they're willing to, fuck it, we'll kill your people. So they just unleash hell, and then Trump called Putin up. Putin gets both sides to agree to stop attacking each other. Of course, we know Israel's never going to hold their but Iran agrees. So then we get, they're not going to build a nuke. The Ayatollahs already said. They've never shown evidence. The CIA said they don't have any intent to build a nuke. But they're not giving up ballistic missiles. So these negotiations are complete crap. And they threaten to attack. So what happens? February the 28th, that day, they attacked an elementary school with 2 Tomahawk missiles and killed 170 elementary school girls while they were at school, and bombed the Ayatollah's home, killing most of his family. His son survived. I don't think he was there. I think they say maybe his wife survived. I mean, the new Ayatollah, the son of the previous Ayatollah, may have survived. I don't know. But now we have exactly what they wanted to happen. Exactly what you've seen. Why? Shut down the Straits of Hormuz. Brian Berletic said this. This all was planned to stop China and Russia. They already got rid of Assad. So Russia is already, they're still dealing with their war in Ukraine. They're not trying to, they're taking their time. So they're getting attacked in their country by drones and everything. Putin could end this war, but he's not. So now Iran's like, nope, we're not going to talk. They're attacking their countries around them. They're just devastating everything. They're attacking Israel. The port that Russia uses was supplying Iran with, through that port got attacked by Israel because Palantir told them, okay, Moby invites Iran frigate to India. Then as they're heading, he tells the U.S. they know where it is, sink it, boom. Okay. Wow. So everyone's talking about Iran, that Israel will use the nukes they have if they lose this war. I don't know if that's true, but this is all going according to Palantir's plans. Okay, now we come to right now. Okay, Iran closed the Straits of Hormuz. That's actually, they want to create this, whole thing with the energy sector, cause prices go up, gas prices go up, this whole shortage, all this. And then what happens? I heard gold took a dive. Now, only people that would enjoy seeing oil price go up, go fluctuate like that would be people who, speculate, like back when Jimmy Carter was president, or people who have a lot of money. They make money off this, like probably the guys in Palantir, or, you're frankly a psychopath. So they're sitting back, letting Trump do this, knowing it's ruining his entire career because they don't give a shit about him. They don't care about Israel. As much as people think, oh, Israel. No, Israel's being sacrificed. When this is over, and there will come a time where America will eventually walk away. We'll leave, either Israel will cease to exist or we're going to abandon Israel. We're not going to, it's over for them. And this is destroying them. It's going to take forever to rebuild. Another reason I believe Palantir is behind this is, think about it. China wants to have the petrodollar. They want to be the lead currency. Okay, Russia, and I remember watching Alexander Miracross and Alex Christopher, Duran talk about Cuba. Russia bringing oil in the U.S. letting that happen. Why? Only not bring much relief. And Russia is like us, and China the same way. They're not doing anything out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it from business. So if Russia were to come in and keep supplying oil, they'd want a piece of what Cuba has. They'd want the money. China doesn't do things for free either. They get your resources like they did in the Congo. They got the cobalt because they don't have any cobalt. Now they've cut off the U.S. and Taiwan. Taiwan can't get the things they need to make the chips that they send the U.S. So that has been closed off, and that's not going to come back. Now China's been stockpiling oil from. They were getting they get oil from Russia. They were getting from Venezuela. They get from Iran. Okay, now when they kidnap Maduro, the problem is the government doesn't control the oil fields. That would be, I think, a militia, or there's a group of people that control the oil. So whatever oil they got were on oil tankers, they're not getting any more. They can't get to those because it's controlled by people who hate the government. And Maduro somehow was able to convince them, and same with who to work with the government. But now they are not going to work with this bitch who basically helped get Maduro kidnapped. So there's no oil that's going to come from Venezuela. They don't control it. It's controlled by others. It's like if they get in, they don't know where, they want to go and take over Krog or the Hog Island, whatever it's called, where Iran sends their oil to be put on ships and sent out the Persian Gulf because they've closed the Straits of Hormuz. This is what they want. They want it closed. So we're going to send troops there. There's nothing there. The oil isn't even kept there. It just gets sent there to be put on ships, sent out. Iran said, we're going to allow certain ships that are not aligned with the U.S. or Israel, and they named the countries, and said, others, you're going to have to pay us $2 million, not in U.S. currency, but equal like in the yuan or in other currencies, but not the dollar. So, okay. And Trump's all running his mouth. We're winning. They're not negotiating with Trump. Nope. He's doing this to try to keep the oil prices below, but they're going to go up. And people are already feeling it. Americans are pissed off. But yeah, this is what they want. Because it hurts China. That's ultimately what this is about. And they're also attacking China's pipeline they built through Myanmar. Because they use that because of how they've cut off China's ability to do shipping. They use Myanmar. And right now, Myanmar's government is dealing with terrorists that the U.S. has sent in, tried to overthrow the government. And they caught Americans in there, and they caught Ukrainians. Arming these, they call resistance, but they're really terrorists. And, yeah. This is exactly what they want. They want China, if they can affect the economies of the world, where their currencies collapse, they can't get oil or anything, they can't buy it, then what happens? It causes China not to be able to sell anything, Russia not to sell anything, because if you don't have the money to buy oil, fertilizer, what happens? You create a global crisis. And then that's what they want to do. They want to shut down China because they don't like the fact that, and I go back, when they sent everything to China, after they basically deindustrialized Japan, made them send everything to China, they did it because, cheap labor, and also they never expected China to get to this point where they are now, industrially. And they were using India because cheap labor, and they didn't give a shit about what they were doing over there. But things have moved to China, like a lot of things. And so they're at the point where they realize we've allowed China to become this possible, global, like equal to us. We are not an industrial country anymore. China is. And so everything gets more and more expensive. And now with the whole thing with chips and not being able to get those for, AI and everything, everything's getting expensive. So groceries are going to get more, price of gas. This is what Palantir is doing. It affects China in a way that they're not realizing. Because if you can't sell your shit to people because they don't have the means to buy it, how are you going to get that product out there? This is how they affect China. If you can crash the gold, cause everybody's currency but ours to crash, what do? You depreciate our currency so that people go, get off the dollar. What happens when your currency collapses because gold goes down? What do you do then? You're going to have to come back to the United States and rely on our currency. See, depreciate, make this all look like get off the dollar. Then when your currency collapses, when the ruble collapses, when the yuan go down because gold collapses, or silver, or copper, or any of these others. And you can't sell to Vietnam or whatever because they don't have the money. How's Iran? They're going to need help rebuilding when this is all over. So they're going to call in China. They're probably calling Russia. And it's going to cost a fortune to rebuild these. And all these countries are going to be begging for help. And we're simply going to go, yeah, okay, we're going to be out. We're going to walk away. And these countries are going to be left needing China to come in. But it's going to get expensive. And this is where these countries are going to really have a hard time getting back on their feet. And this is exactly what will stop the Belt and Road Initiative. Because if China has to stop to try to rebuild things, it's going to get expensive. With the way things are going, this is exactly how you stop China's growth. You don't have to invade them or start a war. You start an economic war. Everyone thinks we're going to start a physical war with China. I think it's more economic. Look at what they're doing. Straits of Hormuz. That's the first part of this. And watch the countries, all these other countries China's been doing, watch them economically start having issues current with their currencies. Because gold is starting on the decline. That's why people buying gold was such a, and all this other stuff, and things start getting more, it's harder to get things. You can't, China is going to have to hold on to their oil, so they're not going to be able to sell it because oil's going to get really expensive. So they're going to stockpile. Russia's going to be like, yeah, charge a lot more for oil. Then there's natural gas, which you're not going to find, Iran. China doesn't have natural gas. So they're going to have to turn somewhere. Russia, yeah, they can get that from Russia. But Qatar right now, their whole natural gas thing, LNG and all, is off the market. The only one that has LNG for sale would be the U.S., but we probably stopped selling that because of everything going on. Plus, our oil will probably come off the market because we have to, try to keep it here. So it's going to get harder on Europe's fucked. Europe is totally fucked. Australia's fucked because these countries decided, well, how are they going to afford it when price is going to go through the roof? India right now fucked themselves. They're going to pay a ton. Full price. Russia's not going to deal with Iran after what they did with India after what they did to Iran. They're going to have to pay full price for fertilizer, for oil. Yeah, Iran named one of them as countries that they'll still do business with, even though Moby got their frickin' sunk, and I believe he was behind that, because he conveniently went to Israel. He's a total Zionist. Not everybody in India supports Israel, but Moby's one of those assholes who does. So, yeah. We have a fucked up situation in the world, and it's not going to get better. Not for the time. We've had shortages in this country. Things will get tight. People will have to, but America's going to come through this. We always do. Our dollar will still be here. Everyone thinks America's our hemorrhage or whatever. It's the rest of the world that will suffer more than we, because we'll find a way to come through this. We always do. We land on our feet. We've been through this strife before. America's not going anywhere. China, they haven't had to face this in a long time. What's coming? Neither has Russia, really. That's the hard part. Those two countries are going to face difficulties in a way that they didn't expect. That's why what we're seeing with the Gulf countries will have an effect on China and Russia and every country they do business with, because it's going to get more expensive, and that's the real problem. The cost of everything is going to go up. It's going to be, people are going to have to be careful, and it's going to become way more expensive to do anything. That's how they want this. That's what Palantir, I believe, why they're doing this. Because, frankly, they are psychopaths who get off on this shit. And they're letting Trump ruin his career. The midterms are coming, and Trump's going to lose. Democrats are already winning. Yeah. They've had these special elections, and Democrats are crushing the Republicans. In places in Mar-a-Lago, a district that Trump is in, just turned Democrat. Yeah. Because people are fed up with Trump's lies. Except for the staunchest of douchiest idiots who still think Trump, he hasn't made America great. Nope. America's still shit. The economy sucks. It isn't getting better. Yeah. But hey, this is Trump wanted to be president so badly, and now he's dealing with the consequence of attacking Iran. They're not talking to him. He's like, Iran said, we're not done. We're not talking. We're not negotiating. We're going to keep hitting you, Israel. We're going to keep hitting you till you're gone. We want you out of here. We don't want you here, America. We don't want you Westerners. And ironically, of all of the countries that Iran's allowing to buy their oil, to do shipping, get oil, Spain. I'll tell you why. Back when all this shit of what Israel was doing in Gaza, the genocide, Spain was the first country to go in, close their embassy, and cut all ties with Israel. They have not done any business with Israel. That's why they said they were not going to help. They are one of the first countries who said, no, we're not going to let you use our bases to attack Iran. So that's why Iran has made an exception for Spain. And it's true. They were the only country right out to condemn Israel and say, we want nothing to do with you. And they closed their embassy, and they've never done business with them. And they told the U.S., we're not having anything, and of course, Trump is not happy with this. And yeah. So, what? It's the way things are. This is how these people operate. They let you look over here at Israel, blame the Jews, yeah. Don't look at Palantir. Don't look over here at them. They're running the show, and they're letting you think Trump is. Trump and his little group of idiots they had no idea what they were doing. They've held these briefings twice, and they said, dear God, they had no idea what they're... And now Trump wants the Republicans to kill the filibuster. They can get his agenda through. But the problem is, Republicans, I think, are realizing they're going to lose the midterms. Both the House and Senate are most likely to go Democrats. And this isn't good for Trump. If Republicans kill the filibuster when the Democrats come in, they don't need one Republican to pass anything, to go out, to basically take Trump down. But here I think Trump has doomed himself. His arrogance and his pride basically made him be stupid. And Trump's not a wise man. His son, Eric Trump, runs his company. His father was, his grandfather basically was doing business with Adolf Hitler. Not a joke. A lot of these American businessmen were doing business with Adolf Hitler. Yeah. And, Trump's always been a sack of shit. He's a game show host and wants to be an actor. He never really wanted to run a business. He sucks at business. That's why he put Eric Trump in charge. Eric Trump is more the business-minded person, like his sister Ivanka. She started her own business. Trump does not have that ability to plan ahead. Eric Trump took over, and of course their fake university turned out to be a scam, and that's gone. But that's the difference. Eric Trump is business-oriented. He went to business school, unlike his brother, Don Jr., who's a complete train wreck. Ivanka and Eric Trump went into business school. They learned business. Unlike Donald Trump, he's kind of a con artist, a grifter, as I would call it. He loves to pretend he's this smart guy, but the truth is, he's a moron. And he shows it all the time. Like, look at all the things. His casino that he had in Jersey City, is gone. It's closed down. He's grifted so hard investors, he found a way to fuck them over while not hurting himself. And the same thing, The Apprentice. People were like, oh, we love it. Then he's still a liberal sack of shit. He is. And this should tell you have one party that basically is controlled by Palantir. It's not AIPAC. It's not Israel. That's what they want you to think. AIPAC was created by the CIA to make everyone look like, oh my God, Israel's controlling our government. That's what they want you to think. When the people running this are Palantir. Those are the monsters who run the thing. They dangle things to you. They make you think over here, look over on the left. You see the craziness? Okay, don't look over here at them. While they're selling systems that are already in most countries, digital ID and all that shit, they do that stuff. And what happens? People go, oh my God, AI. They've got their AI monster. It already exists. And it's already learned how to think faster than humans. It's the AI you think you know of. That's the one that you hear, oh my God, look at this AI over here. It's the one you don't see that already has the ability to do everything that should terrify you. Palantir's AI already knows how to be in every country. It's already in every country's system. Yep. I believe they're in every country. Because once they sell off a system, they already get their AI. AI already knows how to get in there and monitor. It's monitoring every country. And it studies humans and learns and adapts and figures out different scenarios. And the one everyone keeps hearing, then the stories get put out. Oh yeah, they're going to go to war with China. If I said they weren't going to go physically, they don't have the capability to physically fight China. But economically, you can take China down. You can take Russia down. Keep Russia busy on a war where, yeah, they're making money off this, but they're also, then steal their ships, cause strife, cause disturbances in the shipping from China. So they go through Myanmar, then hit that pipeline so that they can't get the oil out there and make money. Then they stop selling rare earths and everything. Oh, we're not going to, because we know you're going to use them, the Taiwan chip company now can't make chips. So where is the U.S. going to go? What, to the Caribbean? I don't know who else makes chips. I know there's several chip factories on Taiwan. They're not getting the stuff from China. They've cut them off because they know once they make those chips, they're going to send to the U.S. and they're going to put them in missiles. So they had to do this. China had to do these things. Now, Trump is eventually going to meet with Xi. He's holding off because he thinks he can get leverage. Venezuela, he does not control the oil. There's no leverage there. He took the oil that was on ships. He can't get the oil that's in the ground. As one company said, it's impossible. It's too dangerous to go in there. Marco Rubio won't even stand in Venezuela. The woman is a complete idiot who ran on, the now president. This stupid woman can't get her hands on the oil. It's controlled by people who would kill her ass. Is there anything? Everybody in Venezuela is armed. Everybody has a machine gun. Everybody is armed. So you have a problem if you're going to try to go into Venezuela. You've kidnapped Maduro. You killed some people. CIA convinced the government to turn on Maduro. He and his wife. So it hasn't changed anything. They don't control Venezuela. Not at all. She doesn't have control of the oil. So now Iran. Trump lies about Iran. They want to talk. Why? You attacked them. They're destroying shit. They're making your life a living hell. Now you want to try to walk away. You can't. You're stuck in a position you put yourself in because everybody told you don't do it. And then I remember this years ago, you said in an interview, if anybody ever attacks Iran, if any president ever attacks Iran, they should be impeached. I hope they hold you to that. So, yeah. Well, I just want to talk about that real quick. This is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.